I'm going to go back into adjustments. We already adjusted the levels. We talked about curves. Let's look at color balance. Color balance lets you come in here and adjust kind of the shade of the colors. Sometimes this can be good to make things a little bit warmer, a little bit cooler. This is also similar to using a color filter on your lens if you have like a more expensive camera that can take filters onto the lens. This is kind of like the same effect but in post-production. Now let's look at brightness contrast. Now this is also one of the ones I like to use a lot. So this, pretty obvious, makes brighter or less bright in contrast, increases or decreases the contrast. Now you should play around with both of these because the combination of the two makes a big difference. And you can just kind of play around, see if there's something that you like, that you think maybe enhances the photo. Now be careful when you increase brightness that you aren't kind of washing things out. And again, you can kind of balance that by adjusting the contrast. You can see what it was before compared to now. And I'm going to click OK. Okay, so the main three adjustments that I use regularly is levels, brightness contrast, and hue saturation. So I'm going to show you hue saturation next. There's also a few other things in here like black and white and desaturate, which also removes color. And there's a few other things in here too, which you can play around with them and see what they do. Everyone has different preferences, but myself, when I'm just trying to enhance color and not really get like a special effect, I typically just do levels, brightness contrast, and hue saturation. So I'm going to come to hue saturation. Hue's kind of fun because hue allows you to kind of warm up the colors, and you can also kind of get them kind of crazy. But I'll just warm up. We're going to look at our neck and our beak here. That's what's changing the most. And I'm just going to warm those up a little bit. We can also adjust the saturation, which is going to control how much of the color is added. You can see it can get really neon. And then you also have the lightness that you can adjust. But I'm just going to leave that the same. So we can turn the preview on and off. And we can see it just gets a little bit more richer orangey. And again, this is up to your preference of how you want the photo to look. Okay, so go ahead and click OK. So again, the point of what I was trying to show right now was just enhancing color, not really altering the entire photo. So the difference isn't necessarily huge. It still looks like a natural photo, and maybe the colors just pop more. But if we compare it to our original, we'll see there is quite a difference. The colors do pop more and it does look a little bit more alive. And like I said, some of this pixelation here will not show up when it is the original. You could look at that by increasing the size to 100%. You can see that that line is smooth where it was pixely before. I'll move it back to 20%. And again, that's just showing the picture at 20% of the original size. Okay, so I think we're done, and you can compare the new photo with the old photo. Now in comparison, the old photo looks kind of green. It looks like it was kind of too greenish. And now I think it looks more alive and the colors pop a little.